Hi there, this is Ahmed and you're watching me on WP Foundation. So in this video, we are going to set up the AMP from the beginner's point of view. So if you are a beginner and you're wondering how to set up the AMP settings, then you should watch this video and follow the settings that we are doing so that you will understand how to manage and set up the AMP properly. So let's get started. First, you need to have the AMP for WP installed. We are at the settings panel here. First, we would have to upload the logo. Now in this video, I will only cover the basic options that are required for you. We will not cover all the options because those are not necessary. So we have added the logo. Let's just save the changes and see how it looks. So here you can see it's there, but it's not coming in a proper way, but we have to resize it. We have an option, you see here, resize. Now you can just make it smaller and I'm sure it will work and it will fit perfectly. See, it is fitting now. We can even make it smaller. So this option makes it easy for you to decide what you want. So we will not see the preview of each and every um, setting, but this is the first one, so I had to show this. Now these are the places where you want to activate the AMP. If you are a normal blog, then you must have the post pages and home page activated and turn off the custom front page. You must have this turned on. If you are a blog, if you are a news website, and if you are using a page builder, and if your home page is set up with the page builder, then we recommend you that you should use the custom front page. So AMP will have its own custom front page. You can just enable this. So instead of the home page which shows articles by default, it will show the page that is selected by you. So for example, this new page, and once we save this, it will show a completely different page for your own purpose. So you can write something and have it as your own front page. This is recommended for people who are using page builders. Now these are the only options we need to set up. Let's quickly go ahead. Page builder, this is just an introduction of that. Advertisement. So if you are a website where you are monetizing your content and where you are adding AdSense, then you must enable these options. Let's just quickly go through it. If you're not using ads, then you can just skip this part. So we will just enable first ad. This is the position of the ad. Now what's the ad size you want? You can just select the correct ad size that we want, and then here you need to add your data client ID and data slot ID. If you are an AdSense user, you probably know what ad client and ad slot ID is, and if you don't know, just Google it, you will easily find it. Now this is an option, responsive ad unit. I recommend you to turn it off if you have uh, people coming in only from the mobile. If you have people coming in from all sorts of devices, tablets, mobiles and desktops, then you must keep this on. Sometimes responsive ad units may mess up some of the things, so it's better to deliver one location, one size, because it's easier for you to understand and manage, because you don't know whether your ad is working or not, because you will never know what size is being delivered. So you can turn this on and off based on your requirement. So this is kind of an experimental feature that is provided by AMP. So these are the ads option. Let's quickly jump to the SEO. In the SEO, you must keep this option on, URL inspection tool compatibility, and if you are using a Yoast plugin, then you must select this. If you're using all-in-one SEO, you must select this. And if you are using an SEO plugin that is not listed here, then you must contact our team. we will personally add that SEO plugins compatibility. Anyways, so let's move forward. We will select just Yoast. Probably most of the people are using Yoast, so just keep these options as it is, and you don't need to really you know have anything over here. Then go to the PWA. If you need PWA feature, you can just click on this mod button and activate it. Doesn't really need a lot of setup or the options for this. It has its own separate options, but if you need it, you can just click activate, and by default it will load the best settings. Quickly go to the performance. In the performance, there is an option called minify. This will compress all the code into a smaller version, so you must keep this on. Now go to the analytics. In the analytics, by default we have Google Analytics turned on. You must provide the UA tracking ID. If you don't know, just Google it. If you are a user of Google Analytics, you probably know what tracking ID is. So if you are a Google user, you probably know what tracking ID is. If you are using Google Tag Manager, then we recommend you to enable this option. It will switch with the analytics. You just have to add your Tag Manager ID, Google Analytics type. Probably you should add this analytics ID, and you must enable this option. If you need IP anonymize option, just you need to fill in these three things. And if you are not using Google Analytics, then we have at least 12 to 15 other analytic company support, which you can select and turn it on, and just it's very easy to use this one. Then move to the structured data. In the structured data, there are some basic options which are provided here, and then there is an advanced version of this that is provided over here. So if you need to use this, you can use this. Otherwise, these options are also enough. We recommend you to use this because it is more robust and future proof, but for now we will just cover this since it's a beginner guide. So for the post, you must select blog posting, and for the pages, you should select it as a web page. Default structured data logo. Here you must upload your own logo, the one that we just uploaded a few minutes ago. And default post image. This is the usually what happens is when a search engine is scrolling through your website, then every website has a web page, and every page has some sort of a main image. So structured data requires image by default. So if the image is not there, then structured data will throw an error. So we made this option where we are providing a default featured image. So let's say if the image is not provided in the article, then it will automatically grab this instead of giving an error. So you must upload a featured image which is served as a default one if the image is not available. And this one is only required for the video object. This is not necessary. So these four things are important. Okay, and if you click on this, we will make a separate video for how to properly structure the how to properly set up the structured data on your site. That's a completely different subject. So if you are in Europe, then you must enable GDPR, and if you are outside of Europe, then you probably don't need it. But we also have the option for notification bar where you can give some notification cookie consent, and it allows accept button. You can also have some other links related to this, and if you need GDPR, you can just enable. There are two sorts of consent that we are giving in terms of GDPR. So you can select either this pop-up or this bar and set up the configuration over here. According to this, the GDPR options will be enabled. Then we have an option called push notification where we are using the one signal integration. OneSignal is a popular push notification company. Now you don't use the OneSignal, that's okay. So you can just keep this turned off. And there are contact form support. These are all premium extensions. If you need them, you need to get the activation, uh, get the extension in order to activate it properly. We have options for the comments in the single, so you can decide where you want to show it. We would recommend you to turn these on and keep this as it is. If you are using Facebook comments or discuss, you can just turn it on from here. Okay. Instant article is a Facebook instant article, which if you are using, you can turn this on. Otherwise just keep it off. You don't need to worry about this. It's all advanced settings, so for this guide we don't need to really cover it. If you have an e-commerce store, you can use these options to enable them. Translation panel is where we can translate and change the text of each and every part of the AMP. Now the two most important options are settings and design. So we have covered everything in the settings. Let's quickly go to the designs. So in the designs, first option is themes. So we have four sorts of themes: design 1, 2, 3, and Swift is our most important, most popular, and most customizable theme so far. So we would recommend you to use this one. We have more different designs and layouts which are available in the pro version, but Swift, these are based on top of Swift. So for now we will recommend you to keep the Swift. In the global section, you have a global color scheme. If you want to change the if you want to change the fonts, you can just enter the Google API key, and you can get the list of all the fonts and you can set up it easily. Sidebar if you need it, but you don't really need it. Custom CSS is for the developers. So quickly go to the headers. We have three sorts of headers, so pick the one you like, then keep all of this as it is. We have a call now button in the header. If you need the header, if you need a button on which we can just click and get the number ringed, then you can use this call now button feature. We also have a sticky header option if you want to keep the header sticky. These are advanced header designs which you can turn on if you know how to work with them. Now these are the options only for the home page. So what kind of things we want to display? Look, you probably don't need it, so you can just skip this. In the single, what kind of a single post do you need? Do you need it with sidebar or without sidebar? So this here you can choose, then keep this as it is. If you need to if you need to have a drop cap, which means that first letter will be bigger, first alphabet will be bigger, and then rest of the alphabets will be smaller. So this is called drop cap, and you can turn this on from here. This is also another feature called lightbox for images, where when we click on the image, it will open up in a lightbox. So if you need this, you can turn it on, and rest of the things you can keep it as it is. There are two types of related post designs, and you can choose from here. Then there are many other options, but you don't really need to worry about this. Just keep this as it is. In the footer is probably set up properly. You don't really need to touch anything. Pages, very few people really require these options. So social sharing is a very important aspect, and we have options for uh, Facebook like button, Facebook share links, what kind of a Twitter handle you have, what kind of options other than Reddit, Telegram. We need Pocket, so you can just turn it on from here. If you need social media profile links as well, then you can turn it on from here. So this is sharing and this is profiles. There's difference between it. And then date has its own options. what kind of date you want, what kind of things you want. You need to keep this as it is. And then there are miscellaneous. If you have a website in Arabic or you are in Middle East, then you probably need an RTL support, otherwise it's not required. So guys, these are the options which we have covered in this tutorial, in this video. And if you do these, if you go through these options, it's probably that you have set up the AMP properly. If you feel like you are missing on something, then you can just email us or just write down your comments below, and I will be happy to reply each and every comment. I look at each and every reply and try to learn something from it. I will even make a video upon your request. So if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments or tweet me or send me on Facebook. Thank you so much for watching another WP Foundation video. This is Ahmed signing off. Goodbye.